While taking attendance, the teacher calls on one of the students and says, "You missed school yesterday, didn't you?" The student says, "Not very much." The teacher notices one of the students is very distracted and says, "Could you please pay a little attention?" The student says, "I'm paying as little attention as possible." A little boy comes home from school one afternoon. His mother asks him what he did today. He says, "We played a guessing game." The mother says, "I thought you had a math quiz." And the little boy says, "That's what the teacher called it too." The teacher catches one of the students trying to sleep and says, "You know you can't sleep in this class." And the student says, "Well, if you could just be quiet, I could." The teacher asks one of the students to spell the word crocodile. The student spells Krokodal. The teacher says, "No, that's not the right spelling." The student says, "Maybe it is, but you asked me how I spell it." The teacher asks one of the students to give the chemical formula for water. The student says, "HIJKLMNO." The teacher asks, "Are you trying to be funny?" The student says, "Yesterday you told us that was H2O." The teacher asks the class, "If you had 5 oranges in one hand and 7 oranges in the other hand, what would you have?" One student says, "Big hands!" The teacher asks one of the students to spell the word caterpillar. The student asks, "How long do I have?" The teacher asks, "Why?" And the student says, "Well, I want to wait until it changes into a butterfly. I can spell that." The teacher is asking the students when their birth dates were. One student says, 12th of February 2015. Then the teacher asks the student, "What's your birth date?" The student says, 8th of May. The teacher asks, "In which year?" The student says, "It's every year." The teacher asks the student why they aren't writing on their paper. The student says, "I don't have a pen." The teacher says, "No, that's the wrong words. The correct phrasing is, I don't have a pen, he doesn't have a pen, and we don't have a pen." The student says, "Aw, man, who stole all the pens then?" The student asks the teacher, "Would you punish me for anything I didn't do?" The teacher says, "No, of course not. Why should I?" And the student says, "That's a relief. I didn't do the homework." The teacher asks one of the students, "What is 2 books plus 3 books?" The student correctly says, 5 books. The teacher says, "Correct. Now let's make this a little bit difficult. What is 12,187 books plus 25,692 books?" The student says, "Library." The teacher asks one of the students to form a sentence starting with the word I. The student starts by saying, "I is..." No, the teacher interrupts. Never use is in front of an I. Always use am in front of an I. The student says, "Oh, okay. I am the 9th letter of the alphabet." The music teacher asks the class, "If F means forte, what does FF mean?" One student says, 80? Each student of the class is writing a report on the topic of their choice. The teacher asks one of the students, "What are you writing your report on?" The student says, a piece of paper? One student stays after class to write something on a piece of paper. The teacher asks, "What are you writing?" The student says, "A letter to myself." The teacher asks, "Well, what does it say?" And the student says, "I don't know. I won't get it for a few days." A teacher comes across a few boys and asks, "Why are you boys arguing?" One of the boys says, "We found a $10 bill and decided that whoever could tell the biggest lie gets the money." The teacher says, "I'm ashamed of you. When I was your age, I never told a lie." The boys look at each other and hand the teacher the $10 bill. At the end of the lesson, the teacher tells the class, "Tomorrow there will be a lecture on Neptune and Pluto. Everyone must attend. All your inquiries will be answered there." One student says, "Sorry, my mom won't let me go so far."